I found out that this past summer, the Tuskegee Airmen were having a convention here in Philadelphia. And my man Marcus, you know, the very talented artist, muralist, if you will, who was just finishing a project at the Arts Garage, told me that he was going to be involved with a mural project for the Tuskegee Airmen. So these things, these connections, you know, they happen.
It's going to be one of the high points of my life that I got to meet these gentlemen, and I got to sit under them and tap into them and learn from their wisdom.
I can remember, I'd just like to give you this one brief example. Captain, major, lieutenant, different parts of the world, a white enlisted man coming toward me and failing to salute. Now, the military teaches all enlisted men to respect its officer component. And I didn't let it go by. I would stop and I'd say, soldier, halt, turn around. Get your hand in the air and salute me, or I will get the nearest military police and put your butt in the guardhouse. And I would say, you are saluting the uniform, not the man in the uniform. Get your hand in the air.
I think one of the most impressive things to me about the Arts and Education Program and the Diego Rivera Mural Academy and its involvement with this project is that the activists and the organizers, the ingenious activists and organizers of the Mural Arts Program, found a way to disseminate the cultural knowledge that we're all benefiting from through 3 different generations. They disseminated it through the generation of the Tuskegee Airmen, which are people that are actually in their 80s and 90s, to people that are in their, say, 30s to 40s and 50s, down to people that are in their 20s and teenagers. And they brought all of these different generations together, and they were able to let them talk in a way that everybody says that, you know, should have happened a long time ago.
Working with the Tuskegee Airmen was really interesting because they have a lot of fun stories to tell you. Me personally, in my group, we worked with a man named Bertram Levy, and he was just really immensely funny, and it was just really good to talk to him and learn about his struggle and what he went through, and I'm really thankful that he went through what he went through so that, you know, a lot of African Americans now are able to be in the Air Force and do great things.
The initial concept I did some weeks ago in New Orleans as I was studying and reading, and it was like that wall. I went and looked at the different angles that you could see that wall. This is one of the sciences of painting murals. You have to take into account the views of the viewer. I want the massive main image to just kind of come to life, and it was the image of the pilot with the helmet, the goggles, the oxygen mask, the brown bombers, and the white scarf, and everything kind of circles inside or around that image. First of all, at the top of the mural, you see a Mustang escorting a B-24 bomber. That is the mission that is almost like the claim to fame for the Tuskegee Airmen, because they were successful in escorting bombers when other fighter squadrons were not as successful as them. Other fighter squadrons that were not African American fighter squadrons were not having the success. And if you know the story, the Tuskegee Airmen, under their leadership of Colonel Davis, dug in and successfully escorted many bomber missions. And they're famous for never losing a bomber. Throughout this mural, you'll see the images of the people who built Tuskegee Army Airfield in Alabama, which was the first time that a black company ever received a major contract like that from the United States government. Black-owned company, that is. You will see the parachute riggers, the women who rigged the parachutes that, of course, were of extreme importance to save the lives of pilots when they would have to be separated from their plane, whether through ejection or being shot down or whatever, or accident. You will see the armorers. The biggest image has sculptural relief we did with cement mixed with dargette. and it has Chief Alfred Anderson on the left-hand side, who was the beloved trainer of many of the Tuskegee Airmen. And then it has a little boy flying an airplane on the right-hand side, and that represents the aspiration of these young black men at the time prior to World War II and their aspiration to fly. You will notice that the Mustang is opening up its machine guns from its wings and raining down bullets and gunfire. But the bullets are hitting two things. Both are Nazi Me-109, that's the Nazi fighter plane at the time, and also the bullets are ripping through segregation signs. So this represents the double victory concepts that African Americans and the supporters of freedom, whether they were African American, white, or whatever, right, had at that time, of the double victory concept. Victory at home, victory abroad. In the lapels of the pilot, I have here standing ramrod straight, you gentlemen, and I got at least room for at least 3 portraits or so of local airmen. This was one of the best teams I've ever worked with, and they put in enormous amounts of hard work under not the easiest of conditions, from high heat to, on the tail end of this project, pretty much, I guess you could say, extreme cold, right? And very few complaints. Everybody showed up to work and worked hard. I was very proud of them. I also appreciated greatly the instructors in the Arts and Education program and the Diego Rivera Mural Academy. Those young artists there, most of them are young, 20s and 30s, and what they were bringing to the young people, you know, that I got a chance to work with in regards to that.
The Mural Arts Project, with these young men doing this work along with Marcus directing them, I'm telling you, this is what a great way to perpetuate that legacy and let people see this history, because the size of the mural gets closer and closer to the size of the deeds that these men accomplished. You know, John said tonight he was the first black pilot to ferry passengers across the Atlantic and the Pacific.
How about that?
And that just takes me out when I hear stories like that. Every time I hear things like that, and they all have stories like that. It's a wonderful thing. So I'm very pleased to meet these young men and see what they're doing in this project. And we're very, very pleased that the Mural Arts Project chose to honor these men in this way. I think we'll be head and shoulders above every other chapter in the country.
We really wanted to do something that was indicative of the strength and what they frankly deserved, as far as a project, as far as an honor of a legacy here in Philadelphia, because we knew that the Philadelphia chapter and we knew Tuskegee Airmen in this area were very strong. And so it was something that was done internally. Jane Golden was really interested in doing something. Me coming on board, I was really interested in doing something, and my supervisor, director of community murals, Kathy Harris, it just was kind of synergy. We all just wanted it to happen. And then Marcus had expressed interest in doing the project, and so we were just like, we're just going to make it happen. We have a couple of different ways of getting involved in the Mural Arts program. The Art Education Department services a lot of youth between 10, 18, sometimes even a little bit older. If people look on our website at muralarts.org, they will there are links that give you information about our different programs, and they can certainly enroll or apply to get into those programs. We offer free programs.
Outstanding. If people wanted to find out more about the Tuskegee Airmen and, you know, possibly in one way or another link up, how would they do that?
It's up online at TuskegeeAirmenPHL.org.